Okay, so this is the Humans of Grappling podcast. I'm doing the first one by myself because I just want to test out the whole deal, all the setup, all that kind of thing, where, I don't know, setting up the microphones, setting up the camera, and then going to sync these and do the whole thing. So, why am I starting this? Is because I've noticed that, like most people, I like talking to my teammates. I like sitting on the side of the mat, hearing more about their life and their perspective, and kind of, I don't know, just connecting in a not usually, nowhere else do you like feel as a, I don't know, deep friendship and bond than with your grappling teammates, because you just tried killing each other in a simulated way. So, yeah, resting after training and just kind of be like, all right, we're tired. You're in like a, I don't know, more relaxed mental state. So you're, just more like open to be like, oh yeah, that's whatever. Opening like how you're really feeling. So, so I'm just kind of doing this to, I don't know, put a more human. I mean, not human. I mean, everyone is human, but just to kind of capture those conversations, I guess, in a more, I don't know, so they can be played back later. And I've been told I have a great podcast voice, so I don't know. This is just a way for me to express myself, I guess. Is that's the main thing why I want to do these things. Is I just want to, I don't know. I've grown up. When I was in high school, high school and younger, I was just, I guess even college, I was just quiet. I still don't like holding court. I don't really like talking in a group of people, but I like talking to people one-on-one and just really hearing what they're interested in and what they think about different things, and just how just getting to know how people think. So I like kind of one-on-one conversations, just because I can relate a lot better than trying to hold court in front of a group of people. And I don't know, I still kind of get stage fright, even though it's like I just taught this class, and I was going over something like a guillotine defense, even though it wasn't like strictly related to what we were doing. I just felt like it's something that I'm really good at, and I've just kind of realized, I'm not good at explaining technique in front of a group of people. So for whatever reason, I can like express myself way better when there's just me and a camera and a microphone, things like that. Because these things aren't watching me and talking back or whatever, right? So, cool. So, yeah, I think the people are the main reason for grappling. You wouldn't be able to get a black belt by yourself in your garage, right? You need teammates. I think I'm just going to call, everyone is a teammate, right? Like if you're within the grappling community, you're part of growing the, whatever you want to consider it, sport, martial art, however you want to call it, whether it's jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo, MMA. Like you're a grappler, you're a teammate. Even if we're at different schools, like you're a teammate. Like, yeah, we kind of like, whatever. There's certain teams and whatever that we have rivalries with and things like that. But overall, like everyone's trying to push the sport of grappling forward, and I think that's why I wanted to start Go Grappling, is that I wanted to make an impact on just grappling as a whole. And I think this podcast is still sort of in that same spirit of like telling stories of the people in grappling, and not necessarily the pros, because the pros get enough coverage, right? Like the pros have like great podcasts like Verbal Tap Podcast or the Grappling Hour, where Raph does a great job interviewing, and I'm not trying to take his job. I'm not trying to compete with him. I'm trying to give give more of a voice or perspective to just the everyday like hobbyist, and hopefully people don't take take offense to the term hobbyist. I don't think people do, but people who I guess if Go-Go Grappling focused on the people who are trying to be professionals in the sport, this podcast is focused on people who aren't trying to be professionals in the sport. People who or may not yet be making money. Not that I'm against interviewing pros or soon to be pros or anything like that. I think it's just interesting to get the perspective of just somebody who just enjoys doing it. Like they enjoy doing it for the sake of doing it, rather than for an external reward. Maybe they're going for belts or whatever, but I don't know. We don't promote that often, so it's very hard to get a belt. But if your goal is to just like enjoy life and make your life better, and not necessarily win competitions. Maybe you're a competitive hobbyist. That's kind of the camp I fall in. Is like my profession. Even though I kind of like, I calculated out the first 4 hours of my day are dedicated to training and training related activities, which is kind of crazy, right? Wake up at 5 to be at jiu-jitsu by 6, and then I slide into my morning meeting by 9. Like I come home, like I get done with training at like 8. I've been doing throwing discus after practice. There's this park right near the gym. It's really nice, just to kind of get some sun, like because I'm inside all day. Vitamin D, and then I don't know if I believe in this or not, but like get my feet in the grass, like grounding. I don't know, but I'm doing throwing discus to like improve my explosiveness. So anyways, so that's like 8 to 8:30 ish. Then I drive home. Maybe I get some coffee from Dutch Bros on the way, and then come home, shower, and maybe eat something, and then slide into like my first morning meeting for my real job at 9. So the first 4 hours of my day are like a part-time job. It's focused on my personal development, and I think that's why I'm really happy. Like because then like I spend something like 8 hours at work, which is in my house, so I can come downstairs, get something to eat, or talk to Lark, hang out with her for just kind of randomly throughout the day in between meetings and things like that. So it's, I don't know. And so that's 8 hours. And then I spend time with Lark, my wife, for the last 4 hours of my waking day, like from 6 to 10, 5 to 9, but something like that. So I don't know. It's a very balanced day. Like, it sucks that, I'm not going to make this a anti-capitalism podcast, but under capitalism is like, I've carved out a very nice life for myself. And I guess part of it, what I want to try to do with this podcast, like, I don't know, I've been kind of entrepreneurial throughout my life, I've thought of different things, and I think it's all kind of like a expression sort of thing. Like, this podcast is not definitively not supposed to make money. Like, from the outset, like there is no like real profit motive here. Versus, say, Go Grappling, I was like, okay, I'm investing this much money, and then if I get this many people to subscribe and whatever, like, there was a outset, a profit motive from the beginning. But here it's more like art. This is just more expression. And if we get sponsors along the way, cool. If we don't, I don't really care. This is more for just a creative outlet. Because I don't know, I like doing a bunch of different things. I have like the three main things that occupy most of my time is first thing in the morning, training, middle of the day, work, and then end of the day, lark. Like those three things are what keep me very balanced. And it's just, they are daily things. They are things that 5 days a week keep me very balanced, and then do random things on the weekends. More things with Lark on the weekends, and maybe some training. So I think, okay, bringing it back to grappling. Grappling is this framework that we can live our life that is a daily part of our life. It's a sport where we can train every day and not get injured, which is weird, right? Maybe at first you have some, if you're coming off the couch, you probably only want to train 2-3 times a week. But once you get acclimated, conditioned to it, and if you're, I guess, under 30 and or above 30, I don't know what the age cutoff is. I'm 31. I feel great. I can train every day. Because I don't train that hard, I have the ability, well, I'm also like the biggest guy in class usually, so I don't get as many like bumps and bruises. So there's that kind of part where I don't like get crushed every day, but I don't have to like expend as much energy because I'm the biggest guy in class. And also, I'm efficient with my technique. That's saying that after 10 years of grappling, or 10 years of jiu-jitsu and 4 years of wrestling. So I can be efficient. I know how to conserve my energy. So yeah, I can train every day, and like I feel fine after that. So yeah, grappling is this weird thing that where it can be an integral part of your day every day, and then you see the same people there every day. So it's this weird social club thing too, and kind of that's why there's the second mic here, is you become really good friends with the people that you see every day. Like they're basically your coworkers. Like you don't necessarily get to choose them. Like they're just the same people who show up to the same place every day as you do. But I think that's kind of like part of being human, is that, I mean, Rick Sanchez says, love is familiarity over time, or something like that, right? It's just a chemical reaction, Morty. But it's cool to, I don't know, clearly the people, they're different than coworkers though, because you're willingly showing up to the same place every day, right? So clearly you have a shared interest. It's not like coworkers at work where your shared interest is putting food on the table, right? So it's interesting to, I don't know, just have that shared experience with people, and you keep. Sorry, I'm Oh shit. Okay. Never mind. Gonna pause. I guess we'll try that out. See how a pause works. Okay. So we're back. Had to pick up some breakfast from that got delivered. Anyways, I totally forget what I said before. So I'm just gonna kind of go off my notes and kind of go over the format of, and just kind of answer these things for myself, the format of the show. So I think I mentioned before, been grappling 10 years jiu-jitsu, 4 years wrestling, so call it 14 years. It's kind of weird to say that. But wrestling is really only like seasons. So if you took them like, I don't know, I only wrestled for 3 months at a time out of 4 years. So call it whatever, a year straight of wrestling. High school sports is kind of dumb like that, right? Like we, unless you like really get into like a, I don't know, competitive team. Like high school football had kind of like year-round training, workouts and things like that, which is great. But yeah, wrestling didn't. We kind of had a club, but it was I don't know, just not as accessible. But yeah, like I don't know. I've been grappling for 10 plus years, which is kind of weird to say. How I found wrestling was I played football first in the PJFL, so like in middle school. Played PJFL, and the coaches were the middle school wrestling coaches as well. So these guys encouraged us, hey, come out for wrestling, and wrestling and football go hand in hand. That's literally what Coach Joe Rose, rest in peace, said. And I think, Coach Hazen and Coach Gonzalez, they're all like, I don't know, these guys like coached all the youth sports. I don't know why. I guess that's what you do when you get older, maybe. So yeah, I got into wrestling mostly because I kind of failed at baseball. Like baseball and wrestling were in the same like winter sport season. Or was it? Yeah, I think so. I think I tried out for baseball and I didn't make it, or I didn't make my age appropriate team. So like I was with like smaller kids and I was throwing too hard. Like I don't know. I was just over it. So quit baseball. I guess it was 8th grade. 8th grade wrestling I joined. It was when I joined, and then I wrestled. I guess I was a natural at it because I won like the league 8th grade league championship that year or whatever. I just like did head and arm throws and pinned kids like that. I don't know. I guess I was good at it. Then did high school wrestling, did okay. Went to NCS sectionals junior year. And then broke my hand senior year. Second match of senior year. I still won. I don't know. That's just like my little point of pride where I posted on the mat with my fist, broke my hand, and had to get surgery, and it's fine now. That's actually like probably the best part about it was like it wasn't like a crazy break. I didn't need a plate or anything. I just needed some screws, and they're just in there, and I've never had a problem since. So not being able to wrestle my senior year and not being able to go to the state championship, like that was my goal, is like make state. And I don't know, I was dumb when I was younger. I was like, oh, I want one of those fancy state patches on my Letterman jacket, because I don't know, Letterman jackets were the popular thing. Like you wanted to look cool. So it was a sign to wear your athletic accomplishments, and that was kind of like my, I don't know. It was a status symbol, I guess. Um, it was kind of dumb. I mean, it made me feel good at the time because I had like nothing else, like no other way to like wear my accomplishments. I don't know. It's kind of weird to think about Letterman jackets. Pause here. So we're gonna. So we need to boost kids' egos to have them show how good at sports they are. I mean, there's also like music Letterman jackets and things like that. So I guess this is a truly American thing, right? Like this is like people have been wearing Letterman jackets since, I don't know, 50s, 60s. I don't know. I have no idea when they were invented. But I guess we give kids all these awards to boost their self-esteem or something and make them feel like they're capable of stuff, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll get it when I'm a parent and like I'm like, "Oh yeah, give my kid awards and like so they can be accomplished and feel good about themselves or whatever." Maybe that's it. Or we could teach kids like, yeah, you want to win, be competitive, but also like enjoy doing the thing. I think we lose that. We lose that somewhere. Enjoy doing the thing while you can. We kind of got that in football. It's like, hey, look, you only got 4 years times 10 games, so you got like 40 games, like guaranteed. Not even guaranteed, because you might get hurt or whatever, of high school football. I lost half a season because I sprained my MCL. So I was competing for a starting spot junior year. Didn't get it, but anyways, like I still enjoyed my time. I enjoyed the socializing and things like that on the team, and I don't know where was I going with this. Anyways, digressing from high school sports and awarding kids like kind of meaningless things. Like I don't think I'll ever wear my Letterman jacket again. Like unless if I was going back to the high school for some reason. I don't even know then. So anyways, this so I broke my hand senior year wrestling, and I don't know, I wasn't done with wrestling, but there was no way to I was mostly like focused on like trying to play football in college, so I didn't try to come back and compete at like the very end of the year or whatever. I don't know. So yeah. So didn't play football in college, and in college I was went to Cal Poly. It was a very, very hard engineering school. I mean, good. I mean, that's what they don't tell you when you're applying to college, is that, oh yeah, that's a good school. That's a fucking hard school. Or that school has a good ROI. They don't fully explain that to high school students, but like you got to trick kids into like working hard, right? I guess that's the thing. Is that it was engineering school's fucking hard, but it worked out. I have my entire life. How it's worked out so far, I wouldn't change a thing. But yeah, it requires that upfront investment of like you need to get the skills, and then even then, like when I graduated, did internships, and then got internships throughout my college career, and then started out as a junior engineer. You still don't know anything. Like that's the most I don't know, not the most, but it's the not depressing thing, or it's I don't know. you get humbled, I guess. Sort of like in jiu-jitsu, is like, yeah, you graduate to the next belt, and now you're the worst that belt. You go from white to blue belt. Now you're the worst blue belt. You were the best white belt. Now you're the worst blue belt. So it's just another level. It's just another level that you have to rise to the occasion, rise to the challenge. So, somewhere in there, during college, I started missing wrestling because I kind of felt like I wasn't done with wrestling. It was incomplete. I wasn't able to go and try to win my state title that I had probably had no business, like, anyway. Like, I wasn't like really, but that was like my goal, was at least go to state. I couldn't. I didn't get the opportunity to do that. So, in college, I think I was home one summer, and a friend recommended that I go try jiu-jitsu. I've heard about jiu-jitsu before. A couple of jiu-jitsu guys came through the wrestling room, and like I don't know, for whatever reason, I just felt like it was a barbaric thing. Even though wrestling is like, we're slamming people, we're trying to lift them up and throw them. I don't know. I got straight ankle locked. I got rear naked choked, and I got guillotined in high school wrestling without doing jiu-jitsu. And that was like my only exposure to jiu-jitsu. I was like, fuck that hurts. But then, yeah, like when I went, I was like, oh, okay, like I'll do anything to feel like wrestling again. So I went to Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu Pleasanton, and spent a lot of my internship money there, and I was like, hey, like I'm down to train. And it was good. Like I got hooked right away, and it was in the gi. It was that was also new. It was just like you can grab people's clothes and manipulate them and things like that. So that like scratched the itch of like wanting to wrestle. Is that this new thing, jiu-jitsu. Even though it wasn't new, it was new to me that this was possible. So of course I wish I started earlier. I might have been able to start 1 year earlier, but not really, because I didn't have a car on campus. Me and a friend were driving around looking at gyms, but didn't know. We were dumb. Like we were like afraid to go in or whatever. I don't know. It was intimidating, and I think that's another thing. It's like when you're new, you don't know what to expect. You are like, oh, I'm walking into a dojo. These people are here. They hurt each other or whatever. No, like people are super friendly, super nice. I always try to do that for people, and introduce myself and try to make them feel welcome. Because I know I was there too. So the idea of, I don't know where I was going with that. Okay. That's just, how did I find grappling? Okay. So I did, guerrilla jiu-jitsu for over a summer, and then went back down to Paragon, San Luis Obispo, started there, picked up where I left off, signed up there, and then, just competed a ton my first year. I had, 40-something matches my first year. It's a ton. Because I missed the competition aspect, and San Luis Obispo isn't too far away from LA, so we would drive down and compete on the weekends, and yeah, it just felt like because I had high school wrestling, I could take people down and win. That was kind of the idea. So just kind of fast forward, I got promoted to blue belts like a year in, which is, kind of I don't know, not super fast. But I definitely I competed a lot and kind of I had this idea of like earning my next belt through competition. Like, of course, hobbyists like don't have to compete. They can just like do well in the gym and give upper belts hard rounds and things like that. Sure, there's different ways. Belts are arbitrary. But I don't know. I got this idea that, oh yeah, this I want to like just be the best. This is a way I can be the best. This is a way that I can kind of like redeem my lost attempt at a state championship in wrestling. Like, I want to go and like that was another crazy thing. I was like, wait, anybody can go to the world championship? Really? Like that there's a world championship in jiu-jitsu? And then it got on my head that I was like, okay, I want to be a world champion. I want to be the best. That kind of, I don't know. I got lost a little bit in the middle. I was a blue belt for like 6 years. The middle, I've been doing it for 10 years. So yeah, the middle like 2 or 3 years, I was very inconsistent. Just a lot of different things happened. And that's fine. Like, it's interesting that jiu-jitsu, grappling, whatever, has been a constant through that. Yeah, like even though there were spans of time where I didn't train for 6 months, just because of various things happening. Just whatever. Life things happening. So I just didn't, but it was a thing that I just didn't like at times. I just hated, like, I was like, is this it? Like, is this this is all? Or now that I'm like, oh, this is the only thing I need. Like, this is I think the gym culture also helps now. Like, not to say the gyms I've trained at before were unfriendly. It was just I wasn't really in, I don't know, the whatever the friend groups that people like kind of hung out and shot the shit with after practice or whatever. It wasn't as welcoming as 10th Planet. Like, 10th Planet, we're kind of a bunch of misfits, right? In the grappling community, we wear weird spandex and unicorn rash guards and things like that. Like, we're a bunch of weirdos, and we're all very accepting of that. We're not trying to, like, I don't think anybody puts on too much of a if you train at 10th Planet, you're likely very goofy. Like, you don't take yourself that seriously. Whereas, yeah, like, gi schools, they have an air of like having to be traditional and honor and respect and all that kind of stuff. 10th Planet is like, oh, we're like, for people who don't need that necessarily, and we're just here to have a good time. So that's why it's like it's worked out so well for me here in 10th Planet Las Vegas. I trained at Cobra Kai as well. Cobra Kai is also awesome. Bunch of great guys over there, super friendly. Nothing against like gi schools overall, but just like the gi schools I trained at previously just, I don't know, I just never really fit in with whatever friend groups there were at. But here, like, I don't know, people are super friendly. So it's, I guess through this whole thing, I'm talking about what I've done training wise, and what does grappling mean to me. I'm just reading off these questions that I wrote down. So grappling is kind of just, it's a unique form of self-expression where we're fighting, but not really. We're trying to we can crank it up to 100% intensity and still be okay, like injury-wise. But it's also like confidence in that it's where nerds can, who are shy, who aren't that very confident in themselves, can be fucking beasts, and they can become monsters on the mat just because they can study the tape more, or they can put more thought into it. It's a type of programming, like software development. It's like a type of engineering where you're constantly trying to iterate, and you're trying to like improve bit by bit, little bit by bit, your game. You have a set of moves that you like to do, a set of moves that you should probably add, and you can kind of like add. It's not, at some point, it's not necessarily about adding moves, but it's about like refining them. And I think that I'm at the fun part now, where I don't have, like, I know a lot of like the major moves, but now it's like, okay, how do I refine the transitions between all of them? And it's the fun part because I've been doing it for 10 years, so I win most of my rounds. But it's not so much about winning, but it's you try to focus on certain things to improve. Like if I just win by my normal A game, like that's not super. That's not as exciting as trying out new stuff. And I guess that's kind of where you get to improve, is like you try out new things on people who are slightly worse than you, because you can control the round, and you can kind of direct it to where you need to go to work on the new thing. So I guess overall, grappling means to me is a means of self-improvement, but in the context of other people. And I mean, that's why I started this podcast, is people are the main thing. Like you are judged kind of like belt rank wise, like against other people. Like it's a weird like relative judgment, and there's a certain sense of pride in that and ego, but you're also humble. You know, kind of everybody kind of knows their place. Everybody knows their pecking order. They know who can beat who, or I guess who can beat them, and not necessarily like who else is better. I don't really know who can I don't know other people versus other people as well as I know, oh, this person, like myself versus them, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a weird thing that checks so many different boxes. Like I made a kind of viral Instagram post about this, where it's jiu-jitsu is a glitch in the matrix, because it's just so good. It checks so many boxes. and it's on my Instagram, so you can find it there. But I'm just trying to like recall certain parts of it that, I guess that is my thesis for why I love grappling, is all those different checkboxes, and why I invest so much time into it. If you couldn't tell by now, my day job is or profession is being a software developer. That's another kind of source of meaning. I enjoy what I do very much. I enjoy learning new things. I think that's it tracks with grappling, is that there's always something new. There's always something to learn. You never master it. There's always more things to do. It's very open-ended. You have autonomy. I have autonomy in both. I'm self-directed in sort of what I work on at work, within certain guidelines, but also in grappling. So you learn, you're kind of self-directed, and once you get to a certain point. Of course, white belt, you don't know anything. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Once you get some fundamental positions down, and transitions and submissions, you can be like, okay, I kind of have the landscape. Now you can kind of start to choose to add things, or you can choose a direction. But if you don't even know where to start, then you just got to show up to class and just keep absorbing through osmosis. So software development is very self-directed, very like you're adding to your own skill set just every day. Like by virtue of your job, like they want you to be as skilled as possible. It's not a situation where they don't want you to outgrow the job or anything like that. They encourage you. Hey, you're more valuable to the company the more that you know. I think that's a win-win relationship. I get paid to learn. It's kind of like a weird goal, or weird not goal, but like a dream was like, oh, what if I could only be in college forever, right? Yeah, I don't know. I just love learning. If I could get, figure out some way to stay in college for forever, but just learn and just get, all kinds of like bachelor's degrees, biology, chemistry, even though it would suck, like certain parts would suck, but I wouldn't, physics, like all that stuff just still interests me. So software development in a way is like constant improvement, constant learning, constant adding on bit by bit to your knowledge base and your skill set. So I've been a professional software developer for 8 years, which is a weird thing to say, because actually, and then plus 3 quarters of internships, 3 summers of internships, so maybe 9 years. So what's weird is I've been doing jiu-jitsu longer, or I've been a professional software developer almost as long as I've been doing jiu-jitsu, and I see parallels constantly. And that's another thing why I want to start this podcast, is because I'm about this, like, at the same level in both things. Like I would say I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm something like a purple belt in software development, because I'm at a point where I can basically do anything as long as you give me time to do it. Like, I don't need a terrible amount of direction. I'll just go and learn the thing that I need to learn. Same thing as a purple belt. Purple belt, you have enough traction to go and like learn on your own. This is where like purple belts are where instructionals come in handy, because you want to know the Matrix Squid Guard, Reverse Dalo Worm, whatever, right? You start becoming interested in the fancy things, like adding on to your game these little pieces bit by bit. So white and blue belt, you don't have as much grounding to go on, but yeah, I don't know. Purple belt is kind of where it opens up. So yeah, the parallels are many, and I have a whole document. Maybe I'll go over it a different time, but that's why I feel like both my hobby and my profession are both like win-win self-improvement things. Like you always both encourage constant self-improvement. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, my profession, I'm kind of a weirdo because I'm I don't know, I'm into bettering myself. I mean, it's not that much, but like physically, like grappling is as much physical as it is mental. Like it is your mind driving your body to do things. So I would say it's 50-50, or you could say it's 100%. You are using 100% of your body in order to gain an advantage over your opponent. Your body is the weapon. Your mind is directing your body to move in very specific ways to solve problems, aka get yourself into advantageous positions and submit your opponent. So I think that's why it's so addicting to me, and like why I'm in it for life. There's no end. There's no I don't see a point where I would ever stop. But yeah, software development, same thing. So anyways, but compared to my peers, there's actually I don't know, like 50 people in this work group chat who do jiu-jitsu out of a company of 10,000 people. So we're out there, but it's not as many as you would think. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted to start this podcast to just really interview people, get people's ideas about. I started with the idea of like professions, of like their profession and grappling, but I think I just kind of opened it up to like, okay, what's their life story? How does grappling provide meaning in their life, and what meaning do they find through that, and how has it helped them? Because to some degree, I feel like this is a near universal good thing, unless you get like seriously injured and it's a force for good. But yeah, within certain bounds, like you have to be in the right environment, the right team, and have respectful training partners, and it's a very trust driven environment, because you are trusting people with your life. You're putting your life into the hands of complete strangers a lot of the time. Like I'm about to go train jiu-jitsu now, and it's Masters Worlds weekend, so there's going to be a bunch of probably random people there that I've never met before, but everything's going to be great because like there's a shared understanding of people throughout the community of, oh, this is a dangerous thing, and I don't want to hurt somebody and prevent them from doing their favorite thing, because jiu-jitsu tends to be people's favorite thing to do. So I don't want to, when I'm training, I don't want to take away somebody's favorite thing to do, because I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want somebody to crank on something and hurt me and take me away from this. So I feel like, yeah, There's something very. Oh, okay. One more thing is that the jiu-jitsu network is wide. We've got people everywhere. I think that's another thing is I wanted to elucidate with this podcast is like people have all kinds of different professions and come from all different kinds of walks of life, and they all train. That's why I think this is a universal truth, because like a universal like good thing grappling is, because so many different types of people do it. So yeah, I don't know, I just want to hear people's stories, and I love hearing about people's mastery of skills. Like whoever else sits in the chair is like they are an equivalent to whatever, a purple belt in their field. Like they are a real person paying real bills, and they know a lot more than me in whatever else they're doing, whether it be fireman or whatever, plumber, or there's things that very technical things that I have no idea what's going on. And it's great that we have all kinds of different people in the world who are at least at the very minimum interested in those things. So anyways, thanks for listening to me ramble by myself here. Hopefully it's interesting. Just wanted to kind of do this as a test run for editing and posting and things like that. So thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you next time.